In my third review of my Civil War movie collection, I'm going to review the 2003 Gods and Generals, which stars Robert Duvall as General Lee, Jeff Daniels as Chamberlain, and Stephen Lang as General Thomas Stonewall Jackson. This movie is pretty much his story, Thomas Stonewall Jackson. It has many of the big battles of the American Civil War, Fredericksburg, Antietam, Battle of Manassas. If you're from up north where I am, I'm from Pennsylvania. The first Battle of Bull Run. This is pretty much from the southern states point of view, but like I said, it's General Jackson's story. This is pretty much like his time when he went into the American Civil War up till his death. Spoilers, he dies. If you study history, he dies during the American Civil War. The beginning of the movie is pretty much takes place after South Carolina attacks Fort Sumter, which starts the American Civil War. The American Civil War, takes place about 20 years after the Mexican-American War. So, we were still, during the Mexican-American War, we were still Union. All the states worked together. So the attack on Fort Sumter pretty much split the southern states from the Union. They formed the Confederate States of America. As much as this is my favorite time period. I love studying this, the American Civil War, and I can't express this enough. My last two reviews I hadn't really talked about, but in this one I'm going to really talk about something, because whether we agree with what's going on with them tearing down statues or not, one thing that we have to remember: Lee, at the beginning of this film, Lee is still considered a Union general. And I can't express that enough. So when Lee is called to Washington, D.C., he's asked to take some men down to South Carolina to crush the rebellion. Lee refuses. He says, and this is his quote in the movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to say one of his quotes. He said, "I never thought I'd live to see the day that a president of the United States will invade his own country." He said that straight to one of Lincoln's advisors who wants him to go down to South Carolina. That is his actual quote. He does not do that. He said, you're going to invade our own country. Lee heads back to his hometown because Virginia's in the talks to whether or not to leave the Union. And they do. They eventually join the Confederacy. Lee, I can't express it enough. I have done research on Lee. Lee is pro-Union, but due to the fact that he lives in the South, he's in Virginia. Virginia seceded. Virginia is Lee's home, but he is pro-Union. But due to the fact that Virginia leaves, he left. He much rather serve his home state, whether he agrees with it or not. He left with his home state when they left the Union, and he is put in command in all of the Confederate forces. Stonewall Jackson, like I said, this is Stonewall Jackson's story. He also, he's from Virginia. He said, okay, don't really want to do this. He's like Lee, this is wrong, but hey, I'm from Virginia. They seceded. I got to go with them. So he also leaves. Chamberlain from Maine. He is pretty much volunteers. He wasn't asked to join. He volunteers, and he is throughout through the most part of the movie. He is learning how to be a soldier, learning to lead men into battle. And he first meets up after the training. They head to Battle of Antietam, and if you know from my glory review, one of the bloodiest battles in American history. Pretty much throughout the entire movie, this was pretty much Jackson was hitting him hard, hitting him fast. Pretty much was like winning up to the end of the war. Well, for his life anyway. At the end of the movie, Jackson is shot. So whether or not he was killed by his own men by mistake or shot by Union soldiers is unknown. Nobody knows what happened, but he dies from his wounds, and at the end Lee pretty much like, he lost his one arm, I lost my right hand man. Overall, this is a very good movie. Like I said earlier, this to really look into Lee's history. Lee is a very good general, and it's honestly, I hate to say this, but it is sad that they want to take down his statue, get rid of him, because you really look into Robert E. Lee's history. He is pro-Union. He did not want to, fight against his own other Americans, but his state lost the Union. He's loyal to his state. Even though you may not agree with it, he was loyal. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Definitely see this movie. Like I said, it's Stonewall Jackson's story. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.